Welcome back into the Rowdy Studio. I'm Stephen Levine. This is Tom Vandervoort, and NASCAR has joined forces with some other sports sanctioning bodies, some professional sports leagues, and they've contacted Speaker of the House John Boehner and said, you know what?
We want our government money.
We want our government money because Betty McCollum, Congresswoman from Minnesota, Democratic Congressman from Minnesota, for several years now has been urging the military to get out of the business of sponsoring sports teams, saying it's a waste of money. And she was successful recently in getting an amendment attached to the Defense Appropriations Bill stating that.
Well, look, I think we have to acknowledge a couple things. Number one, this is symbolic. In the context of a federal budget, of the federal budget, I know it sounds like a lot, but a couple $100 million ain't that much, okay? That's number one. Number two, there certainly is an argument to be made that these kinds of sponsorships are in fact effective for the military in some of their recruiting goals. But I think that's why I think this issue becomes symbolic, right? In an era where a lot of the rhetoric is about cutting government spending, now we're going to cut something that seems symbolically frivolous, even though it may not in fact be frivolous, and even though it's not that much money in fact. And I think what's interesting is everyone's against government spending until the government spending is coming their way. Then they really like government spending and find it very effective. And that's what we've got in this case.
Here's my issue with the approach that Congresswoman McCollum is taking. I have no problem with her saying we need to cut spending, we need to cut the defense budget. Go ahead on. I don't even have an issue with her saying we need to cut the military's marketing budget, if that's what she believes. But as a congresswoman, to micromanage the marketing strategy of the military and say, this isn't effective, this isn't money well spent in this marketing approach, money well spent in this marketing approach, I think she's overstepping her responsibility.
But you seem to be assuming this is a practical consideration.
No, I understand.
And it's not.
I understand your point about it being symbolic. But, and I get that. But my issue is in the micromanagement of the military's marketing strategy. You know, tell the military they have this amount of money to spend for marketing purposes. And if you want to reduce that amount of money, okay. But then don't say you can do TV commercials, but you can't do this unless you're a marketing expert and you've got the background and the research to back that up. That's my only issue.
No, and I think from a practical standpoint, you're absolutely right. Here's the money you have to meet these recruiting goals. Now you go out and meet them with this money. And if we don't have as much money, well, we'll give you less money and you can figure out how to use it.
You prioritize your marketing
goals. I agree with you completely. But that's not the point. The point is we're cutting spending everywhere. We're going to cut aid to the poor, food stamps, or whatever we're cutting. And so in that context, I would like to make a statement about everyone doing his or her share. And so that's why, and sports is very visible. So if you want to say sports is the reason sports is a good marketing tool is because of its high visibility. Now it becomes
a good symbolic
tool to make this kind of a statement, and I think that's what you've got going on here.
I think you're right, and I think you're Tom, and I think I'm Stephen.
And I think you're right.
And I think I appreciate you guys watching.
But you know what? I'd rather be right than be president.
There you go.